Good evening. Thank you and welcome to Newark City Hall, Mayor Raz J. Baraka. And this is the Resiliart Angola show, so give yourselves a round of applause for coming out tonight. We know it's very cold, and we know a lot of you came out and braved the cold for all of us to be here. My name is Michelle Morgan Truvillian, and I am the manager of arts and culture for the city of Newark. Just come on up and take a seat. We know that everybody went and did their tours, right? On the first floor, all the way around, and you saw the beautiful artwork. And on the third floor, just come on in and take a seat. We even have art that's going up too on the fourth floor. On the fourth floor too, because the fourth floor people were saying, how come the first floor and the third floor get all the beautiful artwork and the love, and the fourth floor gets nothing? So this year, thanks to Jakarta, stand up, Jakarta. This is one of the artists, Jakarta Kalfani. Please give him a hand. Who's on the process of finishing off the fourth floor for us. So we'll have all these different levels of art. All right, so just to get our show going this evening, we have some food that's gonna be coming in so everybody can get their tummies full and have a little grub, because I know some of you are starving and it is dinner time. And we're gonna get going. So first up, let me give the band here. Give the band a round of applause too. Woo! And they're even missing one more person that's going to be here soon, too. Let me put my glasses on so I can actually see what I'm doing. All right. Okay, so I'd like to acknowledge first the partners, the artists, the other artist. Is here, Bakir? Are you here, Bakir? Please stand up. This is another artist, Bakir. Bakir Hayes, that went out to Angola to create some of the artwork here, and some other ones might be coming in, but I'll let Andres, who's going to be the curator of the show, and I'll introduce her in a minute to come up here. All right, so for first off, we're going to have a brief history of what Black History Month is all about here. So with that being said, the Resiliart Angola, A Vision for Liberation. This event is going to be curated by Andres Brady. You will meet her. Some of our partners are UNESCO, right? Give a hand for UNESCO, along with the city of Newark, and I'm trying to read good and I can't see. The American Schools of Angola, yay. Of the Biennale of Luanda, yay. And one more, there's one more partner in there. I can't see it that great. Okay, when Andres gets up here, she'll tell you the other partner. I'd also like to welcome and give acknowledgement to all the elected officials here that are in the building. There were a few that stopped by. There's some of the council people that came and they waved and they're looking at the artwork here. Also like to recognize Deputy Mayor Lygia DeFreitas. Woo! Stand up, Lygia. Yay! Okay, so to get the show going, I'd like to bring Dr. Kalfani up, and he's going to do a reflection of the origins and the significance of Black History Month as a global movement for cultural preservation and historical truth, which is so needed in this country right now, because we have this kind of interesting, crazy orange president that doesn't really operate from a place of truth. Well, his own truth, but not the truth that's true to anybody else. So Dr. Kalfani, can you please come up here and share some words with us? Here we go.
That sounds like a tall tale for me to do. I don't know. All right. Well, thank you. I want to thank Resiliart. I want to thank the American Schools of Angola, the city of Newark, for all inviting me here. I've been around and looked at some of the artwork. It is beautiful. I've seen the beautiful artwork when I've been in Angola at least twice now. I looked for going back many more times. I want to recognize our Council General from Angola. I want to thank you for being here, and all the other folks who've come to share their presence and insights. But let us put this in the context of African history, right? And the history of African people. And what we begin to see is that what you see in the artwork is a reflection of the history and culture of African people for a long, long, long time, right? And so that our history and culture goes back to the beginnings of time. And I usually pour libations, so we'll pour virtual libations here today for those who come before us, because we're here because those folks made it possible for us to be here. Those artists who've made that sojourn back to Angola with the beautiful assistance of my dear brother Marcus. He's been working very hard to make that connection, him and his lovely wife, that they create spaces for people to think outside the box and to think within the context of who we are as African people. So African History Month, being in the month of February, is really, we go back to Carter G. Woodson, and Woodson said he created Negro History Week. And the point of it, though, we get confused. We think the point is that we come and we talk about African history that we know, and people complain, why do we have the shortest month? What they fail to realize is they haven't read the books and the things. And what this is really about is this is a time for us to reflect upon the work that we've done for the other 11 months, right? So he wants us to come back and report on the time that we've been out and doing things. And so we're supposed to be doing and celebrating African history culture for the other 11 months. And the short month is the month to say, well, this is what I did. This is what I learned. These are the connections that I made over that time. So I think that those are important things that we've done, that we haven't done, that we need to be doing. So I'm going to actually do 2 seconds of that right now. Right, so this summer I had the chance to go to, or last summer, to Brazil, to Mali, to Portugal, and to Italy, and in all those places, I strive to identify African history and culture and make the connections with African people all around the world. And in Colombia, I went to the Afro-Colombian Festival in Colombia. And so these connections help us to understand that African people are around the world. And once we understand that our global existence, then I always say that what we need to be doing is that we need to build on our similarities and celebrate our differences. I'm going to say that again. We need to build on our similarities. See, because that's a starting point, right? We know that if you go out here, you'll see, did anybody see today or yesterday what is that thing at the corner where the lights are? Oh yeah, a stop signal. Did anybody see the stop signal out there? Well, if you saw one, they're all around the world. But how many people know, maybe outside this building, that it was invented by a brother, Garrett A. Morgan? When we think about the contributions of African people around the world, then we begin to think differently about who and what we are. And that's what Carter G. Woodson wanted us to do, to think differently about who and what we are, so that we begin to bring to the table new nuances about those relationships, new nuances about stepping outside our comfort zone because somebody eats something or dresses some way or smells a different way, that we turn our noses up when maybe we should be pulling them in closer because they have something that we don't know, something that we don't understand. And so African history and culture, this time period is a time for us to think about the relationship for Africans on the continent, in the islands, in South and Central America, in the Americas themselves, in Europe, everywhere that we are as African people, we need to begin to start learning something different about them because they are us. They are you. And when we recognize that there is but only one, right, the Garvey gave us the key. And that the African connection that he made was so powerful and strong. Think about this. There was no TV, there was no internet, there were no cell phones, but there were millions of Africans around the globe in the Universal Negro and Improvement Association, the UNIA. So why is it that now we can't get that same level of unity when in fact we have so many more tools at our disposal? We need to take those tools and not find ways to have conflict, but find ways to bridge the gap, right? To find ways to make connections where the connections are weak. And when we do those things, we empower ourselves, we empower our community to be something that it's not right now. And as Michelle said, we got some things going on in the world we're living in, and if we're not keen on the ways in which we look at that and address those issues, then we're subject to becoming victims of things. We've got to figure out that there are people, things, ideas that are against the unification of people of African descent. It's always been that. So since that's been the case, then we have to think about what are the strategies we're going to use to move beyond that and not allow ourselves to get sucked into it. See, when we operate on a Eurocentric model about individualism, we can get sucked in because someone's going to offer you some money, someone's going to offer you a position, someone's going to offer you a piece of power, a piece of land or something, and then you use that for your own personal benefit, but the essence of what you do is against everybody else that's in your community. And so we have to learn to unravel those things and unravel our thinking. Carter G. Woodson really wanted you to unravel your thinking and recognize that we're thinking and operating under the guise of white supremacy. And when we understand that that's the space under which we're operating, then we begin to change what we do and how we do what we do. We've got to recognize that Naim Akbar said we have to break the chains of psychological slavery. Malcolm said the same thing, but he said it in a different way. He said that slavery is over, but they took the chains from your ankles and your wrists and they put them behind your eyes and you can't see them. So what is it that the chains are that you can't see? It's the way that you look at your brothers and sisters. It's the way that you think about what they do, what they don't have, that you want to have what they have, so you're willing to take what they have, or you're willing to do something negative in the space and places there are so that you can get something, so that you become the one and not the collective. My key for us to leave today is that we've got to operate as a collective. And we have to operate in the ways that some of the struggles from Amiri Baraka and other folks who are in the political struggle back in the 50s and 60s and 70s, and that we have to be holistic about it. There's no separation between a political movement and a cultural movement. We have to be holistic. So that means we have to have art, culture, music, food, dance, politics, economics, all of these things we have to look at to develop holistic ways to advance the cause of Africans moving forward. And once we've done that, we have a different reality. So with that, in Portuguese, I'll say, a luta continua. All right, thank you very much. And there's always stuff in the Africa. I want to thank Marcos also. Some of the art that's here now just left the Africana Institute. We had it up for a long time, so thank you very much for giving us that long-term loan, so that we could display the beautiful work that folks did and think about the vision of developing peace in the space of chaos. Peace and blessings. Oh, I also want to say, sorry I can't stay with you. I'm headed to a conference, so I'll just be here for just a couple more minutes.
No problem. At least thank you for coming. We're very honored to have a Professor Kafani here, and wiser as we usual to teach us a little bit, and not just teach it, but to light up in our heads and remember where we came from, where we are now, and where we're going. Axé. A luta continua e a vitória é certa. That means we're going to win. That's in Portuguese. I continue that. We're very honored to have here Ambassador from Angola, Augusta Bessa, and we'd like now for her to come in and say a few words. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted to be here today to reflect on the importance of international culture exchange and artistic dialogue. We live in an exchange and an increasable globalization world where border between nations and becoming more permissible and mutual understanding is becoming an essential tools for strengthening ties between peoples. Cultural exchange is a powerful engine for human development, allowing different traditions, histories, and perspectives to meet and enrich each other through art, and we can overcome language and cultural barriers, building bridge of understanding and respect. In Angola, we display values our cultural heritage, and we believe that artistic dialogue not only celebrate our roots, but also connect us with the world. Art has the power to inspire, provoke reflections, and create a space of unity where differences are celebrated and part of our common diversity. Therefore, we must continue to invest in the initiatives that promote exchange between artists from different backgrounds, because it is their experience that help and build a more supportive and harmonious future. Thank you very much.
Charisse, before you come in, I'm going to break it. This is not a protocol, and definitely we're not with the receiving president or prime minister. This is friends and artists and sister city between Angola and Congo and Cameroon. From the artists we have from Congo here, from Cameroon, from Angola, from United States, from Newark, and has a city in Newark. That begins because a certain person we're going to do that, and his logo is here. And I'd like, before May is not here, I'm supposed to speak on behalf, but everybody knows I'm not a woman to talk, I'm a woman to work. So I already say welcome to everybody on behalf of the Mayor Ras Baraka and the entire administration, plus all the municipal, council people. We welcome you here. Please, we have the TV here. Through the TV, I'm going to invite everybody, come in to the city and work from Monday to Friday. We are open, so the public can come in and walking around on all these floors, from the 4th floor to the basement. You're going to see around 80 marvelous, beautiful, fantastic, paintings all over the walls, in the corridors of City in Work. This is an open museum for the people, to the people, through the sister city, between the City in Work and these cities I just mentioned. So please come in. And I'd like, from Mark Agostinho, who is the founder of the American School in Angola and the pushing Resiliart in the City in Work with Angola and make it happen, all this stuff that I just did mention. Please, Mark Agostinho, I'd like you to say a few words.
Good evening, everyone. I thank your presence here with us. I really want to be brief, but foremost, I wanted to thank all of the artists that participated with us, especially the ones that are present here, that came from Newark, visited us in Luanda. The artwork that we see is a result of a residency that the artists did in Angola, in country. And that residency was between the American artists from Newark with particular artists also from Houston, Texas, because there is a sister city initiative with Houston, together with African artists. And this was a in-depth residency that visited what we are talking about, the independence of Angola, as well as a culture of peace, because it was in September, and the September 21st is International Peace Day. And the result of their residency is what is reflected on their respective artwork. So I really want to thank all of the artists that participated, and I also want to thank particularly Deputy Mayor Ligia de Freitas, who spearheaded the initiative for the Sister City initiative between Luanda and Newark. This is the very first activity that we are having as a result of the Sister City initiative, and I think it will be one of many to come. We're serving ourselves as a platform to educate people about the intercultural exchange, but also to empower the artist. That is the main purpose of what we do. It's to empower artists, and this will be a platform to do just that. It will allow people to come in, look at the artwork, have a conversation, visit different topics that are very important between the Sustainable Development Goals, amongst other social issues, but at the same time, it will give us an opportunity to empower artists for those that would like to take with them a piece of what you see here. So you're going to be able to purchase some of that artwork and support the artists, because that's also what this is about. All of the artwork that is here will be available for those that would like to collect and take a little piece in support of these artists. So without any further ado, again, thank everyone for being here. We sincerely appreciate it, specifically and most importantly for the artists. And I thank Ambassador Bessa also to be here with us representing Angola. It is very special, and this is going to be one of many different activities that we will have throughout the year. So with that said, let me call on Andres, who will elaborate more on the curation of all of the artwork and good things.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for taking the time to come here to participate. I just want to first say thank you to Deputy Mayor Ligia de Freitas. Thank you to Michelle Morgan Trevelyan. You guys have made this really possible, and I'm so appreciative of the opportunity to continue to be a part of this program, so thank you. Marcos Augustino, thank you so much for the continued opportunities and also giving a platform for more artists to experience the greatness that Angola has. So it's really special. This art exhibition is really special because we've had 3 different countries essentially come together to create art. And for the artists and curatorial text, it was important for us to talk about things that are happening in the world today. We know that in the Congo, there is a serious genocide and fight for resources. Here in the United States, as we know, we are newly elected president, and so many things have happened just since he's been elected, as well as all of the other issues that's in the world. And as Black and brown people, it's important for us to come together to reflect on that. And art is so powerful because it is a tool to transform and transcend us into different realities. I wouldn't have been able to travel to Africa and participate with Resiliart had I not really been strong and dedicated to my passion as an artist. And I think the artwork in the building really speaks to that. A lot of the artwork talks about the different issues that are happening, and the artists are using their platform to envision a new world, and to envision the change that we want to see in our communities, not just here in Newark, but in Houston, in the Congo, in Angola, in Cameroon. So it's really special, and I just wanted to say thank you to everybody for coming, participating, and being a part. I would like to take this time to introduce the artists that are here with us today that participated. So if you guys could just come up when I call your name. We have Jay Golden, who is a phenomenal painter and artist. He was in Angola. If you get to walk around, you'll see his piece. He has an art piece right downstairs with a woman holding a bag. It's called Food for Thought with the Angolan cloth on. So we'll let you speak a little bit. We have Bakir Hayes. Please come up. He's a photographer, but he actually made his first painting in Angola. So that's pretty exciting. From what I heard, he said he really enjoyed painting. And then also, I could not have done this without Jakata Kalfani. We actually met in Angola, so it's just a pleasure for us to be able to work together still. So let's give it up for the artist. Okay, so really briefly, I'm gonna let you guys say 2-3 sentences about your experience and about what you created, if you could share.
All right, thank you everyone for coming out, first of all. Jay Golding. The experience for me was, I had like mixed experiences. So for me, it kind of felt like I was going home in a sense because I'm originally from Jamaica. I moved here when I was 7 years old. So there were parts of Angola that reminded me of Jamaica. There were parts of it that reminded me of Ghana when I visited and things of that nature. So, you know, that was like the first thing that stood out to me when I got there. And then just kind of going around the city and meeting the different artists and taking the different trips and, you know, just having all the different experiences, it was just kind of just like becoming a part of a new family. So, you know, that was a beautiful thing, especially during the production week when we all were kind of just creating outside together. And you get to see everyone's different process and how they create. And everyone just kind of fed off of each other. So that was a beautiful thing. That was my first time having a creative experience of that magnitude. So I'm definitely very grateful for the experience.
How y'all doing this evening? I had a great experience. It was something that that was basically new to me. It was everything was just new. Just from scenery, from being around painters. I went out there for photography, but being around the painters inspired me to grab a paintbrush and start painting. So that was real inspiring for me and real eye-opening. And just being out there, seeing the environment and seeing different people and how they like hustle every day for what they need every day. It was real, it changed my perspective on how it is, how the world is, basically. So I enjoyed that experience, and it was something that I really, really needed it. So thank you for having me.
So being in Angola was really beautiful because it showed me a few things. The first thing that it showed me was the similarities of the struggles that are at play between African American communities here in the States and between the African community there in Angola. and how the effects of colonialism and then now neocolonialism plays out very similarly in these two communities. And so it was actually a really beautiful point to be able to see a community that maybe I didn't speak the same language as, didn't have the same exact upbringing, but I was able to relate to in different ways because of the ways that those societies had been shaped. And so that was really beautiful to be able to connect in that way. And then additionally, the artistic development that was prevalent in Luanda was so impactful because the artists there in Luanda care so deeply about the work itself, about the community of artists, and they care very deeply about being able to engage with one another, being able to have other people engage with their work, and being able to share their work with their community. And in a scene sometimes here in the States where it can be about materialism, it can be about just wanting to be an artist so that you can be famous, it was really refreshing to see a scene of artists who cared deeply about the work that they were making, the messages behind it, and the ways that art could impact their communities. And so it was a really beautiful time to be able to experience that, to be amongst those communities, and to share those memories with people that are here today. So thank you.
So yes, thank you again to everybody. Thank you, Marcos. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Ligia. Thank you to the ambassador from Angola for being here. We appreciate it. I appreciate it. So just thank you. Like, if you get to enjoy the artwork, please walk around and see. Some of the pieces are for sale. We have prints available. Tell a friend to tell a friend. The artwork will be up for a while. So don't miss out on the amazing opportunity to see a new world through the lens of the artist. Thank you. Oh, my time isn't up. Well, we've talked to the artists, and I think that we are coming to an end. Again, like I said, this has been really an amazing journey. This is our second time being here at City Hall for our exhibition, second installation. So that is due to the persistence and consistency of Dr. Marcos Augustino, who is just so passionate about making these things happen and really advocating for the Angolan artists and community. I think it's beautiful. And it's also shining light because people hear about Africa, and so many people, when I tell people, oh, I went to Angola, they're like, what is Angola? Where is that, right? So it's kind of in a way like we're putting Angola on the map, making people recognize that also a lot of our ancestry comes from Angola. A lot of African Americans here in the States are direct descendants of Angola, whether they know it or not. So it's just really important, especially during Black History Month, to be able to bridge that gap. So at this time, we will be wrapping up. If you guys would like to walk around to do a tour, myself and some of the artists, we would love to walk you around. So you know where to find us, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Thank you all for coming.
If you guys want to stay with me, I gotta still kind of go to the office to work. So we have a new people coming. We have a people from Angola here. You know, they'd like to have a tour because they come late. And my colleagues, the commissioners, you know, Michelle, commissioner, you know, I forgot his name, from Nigeria. Anyway, so if you guys, you know, we either want to do the tour, Sarintia, Madame Andrea. You see Andrea? You see that one who was in the belly and she was like, no, I'm not. Yeah. Anyway, Sheena, did you see the expo? Okay. So I think that we have two groups. You know, if you guys want to divide it and go with them to look at. I don't know what happened with the food. It's still not coming. Okay, thank you. As long as you want, baby. So at least more than 30 days we're going to have it here. The last one was here for 3 months, right? Yeah, more than that. October, a year in 3 months, yeah. So we can put it for 1 year. And I hope, you guys can sell all those beautiful pictures and, paintings and take it home, Please, they're for sale, by the way, okay? Thank you.
Welcome to City Hall. We are here at the Resiliart, a Vision for Liberation exhibition. My name is Andres Brady. I am a visual artist, art educator, and curator who've had the pleasure of curating the second installation of the Resiliart exhibition. And I'm just so honored because we are here today for a special Black History Month celebration. If you did not know, Black History Month was coined by Carter G. Washington Woodson, who is also a descendant of Angola. This exhibition specifically in this residency is so important because we had artists from 3 different countries, America, the Congo, Cameroon, and Angola, come together to create artwork to envision a new found freedom in artistic expression. This exhibition specifically is so important because it's kind of showing light on the shared struggles of many people throughout the diaspora with things that's happening in the Congo with the mass genocide because of resources that we use every day on our iPhone, to the common struggles that are happening here in America. We know that our nation is divided because of the presidential election and people's views. We know that in Angola there is corruption happening. So I think it's important when we come together, we see that we have a lot of shared struggles that we often don't talk about. And we often think that we're different because we're separated by bodies of water. But this is so beautiful for us to come together and recognize that we are all the same and we share the same experience.
This painting right here is called Social Engineering. One of the reasons why I titled it Social Engineering is because in the painting, it has a lot of systematic issues that go on, such as mass incarceration. This is a jail. This is a police van. This is a neighborhood, 220. It has Popo right here. That's like a nickname for the police. It also has Pig right there, which was created by the Black Panthers. And this is jail, home, and school all in one construct. So like the fact that school is like a pipeline to jail and how people go to jail, they make it their home. So it's kind of all cohesive. And all of the colors basically have meaning. So the red symbolizes fear. The blue symbolizes peace. The green symbolizes money. And the yellow symbolizes hope. And to me, in this country, we go through a lot of these issues. That was one of the most eye-opening trips I ever took. Some of the things that stood out to me was we were going to Calendula Falls, and while we was going through the forest to the falls, we ran across a guy that was cooking fish that he had just caught in the forest. And he was actually dry cooking it, if I'm saying it correctly. So he was like just steaming it. Not steaming it, but I could be saying it wrong, but he was dry cooking it, and he shared it, and it was amazing. And just the whole overall experience of the waterfall, that was amazing too. And there's a bunch of other things that was eye-opening for me, such as like how the people lived out there. They basic necessities such as roads and convenience stores and basic daily living was totally different from out here. So that was real big for me and real mental changing. So it was a great experience and I would love to go back. I would love to explore more parts of Africa. Yeah.
Okay, so this painting is called Food for Thought, and basically the meaning behind it basically is touching on the conflicts in Angola through their civil war and all the tension and turmoil over the years. So you see like the buildings are falling down, there's a whole bunch of chaos in the background. But then this woman right here, she represents, you know, just someone who has experience. She's an elder, she has experience to bring for the new generation. So that's why she has a bag right here. It's supposed to be like a grocery bag, but it says food for thought. So she's basically bringing food, you know, just for your knowledge and just to help the next generation expand and do better than the previous generation and to continue to build the country back up. And then we also have just like some subtle meanings here. Like you see this bird right here. This bird is actually the national bird of New Jersey, goldfinch. And then over here, I have just like a little tiny piece of the national bird of Angola, and that just symbolizes the union between New Jersey and Angola coming together. So this woman we actually met, I think it was our second day? Our second day in Angola, we went to the beach, and she was just walking on the beach. And this fabric she's wearing is called a samakaka. It's like, it's a traditional fabric in Angola, so it just felt like the perfect picture to create something out of.